Okay, everyone, hello. I am playing Flay Lich with Harvest. Why am I doing this? Because someone has to do it, okay? Someone has to, you know? We started playing hardcore. Unfortunately, I crashed to desktop multiple times, and one of those crashes killed me while I was rank 1 in the race. So I was feeling a bit down, and I decided to, you know, let's just keep playing softcore. And since I'm in softcore now, I thought, you know, let's play Flay, let's see what we do. And I'm not gonna lie, the first few levels were a bit of a pinch, but hopefully, you know, thankfully, Volcanator saved the build going into, you know, doing some testing and stuff. And this is where we are right now. We are 4,000 life. We're going, these are our passives. We grabbed all the more damage bullshit and the intelligence, of course. Nothing on Necro, nothing on Warlock, full Lich. And again, you basically stack intelligence and as much dexterity as possible. You are playing low life, so you try to spec into all the stuff that gives you increased damage when you're in low life. Like we have some here, we have some on Reaper form. And then we're building with all the stuff that makes us tanky on this part of the tree. And all the delay. Eventually I'm gonna max this out too. I'm putting points here at the moment. And then, you know, all the crit stuff, like always, all the intelligence as possible. I think pretty much most Lich trees, unless they're doing low life with Scorn, they're gonna look something like this. Or unless they're doing dots, that they're gonna go into this. Again, the tree is very straightforward. The moment we drop the Traitor's Tongue, we start dual wielding. And it felt much better. And again, we are playing Harvest, like I said. The reason you want to be stacking intelligence and dexterity is because intelligence gives you increased damage and dexterity gives you flat damage. So, you know, ideally, you want to get more dexterity than intelligence, even though dexterity you're going to have to get through gear mostly. But, you know, at the moment we have 37 dexterity and 67 int. So, you know, we're getting there. We're level 88. I went to sleep, so I haven't been playing as much. This character is like 13 hours old, something like that. We're level 88. And yeah, I mean, let's take a look at the skill trees. So Harvest, you know, we got a bit of a revamp. You basically grab all the damage multipliers possible, and you try to apply unique elements. So you get the more damage, you know. So we're gonna be applying some elements with Hour of Decay, some elements with Flay, some elements with Mark for Death here, etc. To make sure you maximize this when you're like, you know, bossing, pretty much. You need 6 elements to max this, which we get, of course. Then we're cursing enemies with the Mark for Death from Reaper, and that gives us more damage against them. You know, we get all the flat crit chance, all the attack speed possible, blah, blah, blah. You know, we get the Shred, which gets converted to Cold. This is a Cold build, and the reason it's Cold is because by default, Harvest is Necrotic, right? But you can turn Hour of Decay into a Cold Shred, and you can make Flay Cold. And overall, you know, like the cold synergies are better, especially if you plan to do a Morning Frost setup in the, you know, for damage in the late game. So what else? Flay, pretty much working as a dash for us. That's pretty much it. It applies this cold shred. This is one of the reasons to go cold, right? Because you get like 15% less cold res, and this counts as an ailment because it's a curse, right? So, you know, you will be able to proc this and this at the same time, so it has very good synergy with the cold stuff. And yeah, I mean, we grab all the minus mana, all the attack speed possible, this for a bit of clearing. I mean, I don't really know if this is doing much, honestly. But the most important stuff is like you grab the maximum distance, you know, you grab the curse, and then you make it so blood eruptions, which help quite a bit with clear. Reaper form, very, very classic tree, Mark for Death. You're flaying so much that you don't really use Rip on this build at all. You don't have time, basically. It's too bottom heavy. And, you know, very stereotypical tree, you know, with the Mark for Death, all the buffs, the low life buff that got a lot of value this patch because of the Petrified Blood thingy, and armor per intelligence, which is another reason why we're stacking intelligence. Another reason we're stacking intelligence is this. We're gonna be getting minus res to ourselves and to enemies. Again, I have 67 int, so at the moment, because we convert to cold, it's like minus 67 cold res for enemies, plus this 15. So quite a lot of penetration with this. And yeah, you know, you just give yourself resistances to offset this. You give yourself all the chill chance and all the cold bullshit and the healing and all the elements possible to proc the harvest stuff, you know, slow, chill, all that shit. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And then we have a transplant, which is basically your movement ability, because you can't really fit much else on your bar, honestly. And since we're not speccing into Rip, we're not really using Rip, might as well use transplant for, you know, the bone course, for the extra curse and the extra element for this. And we also get, you know, like the fear, which is quite safe, you know, the blood pulse to slow enemies because we're melee, helps kiting, and the bone armor, which gives us damage reduction. And yeah, that's pretty much the character. In terms of gear, my gear is completely scuffed. I have a few traitor stonks that I've been gathering, but I need to slam them, obviously. Where the fuck are they? There it is. I have a couple of really good traitor stonks. This one's pretty good with the 2+2. I have a bunch of them. I haven't really found anything cool to slam. I can slam this now. Titan Heart with HP. I have another couple HPs here and Flace. Siphon of Anguish with HP. This thingy with Armor Shred. And, you know, just basically running around, capping my resistances, some HP, some dexterity. Eventually I'm saving my materials to buy, which I should be able to do in the next hour, to buy the primordial dagger, the dexterity dagger, the claw, the jaw, whatever it's called. And that should be pretty good for the build. And yeah, I mean, pretty much, you know, some idols for resistances, some HP stuff, and my blessings so far. I got pretty lucky with blessings, actually. I have max rolled armor and dodge. Perfect, so if I want to switch to dodge, I can. And I have the armor. I also have cold shred, but I get it for free, so I don't need it. And I also have a physical and cold red, very, very high rolled. And I also got the all res and the crit avoidance pretty well. So, you know, character is looking pretty good. I'm gonna do a map, I guess, to show you guys how it plays. Hopefully I don't fucking suck. And you guys get to see the build in action. And yeah, so basically, like I said, you have Aura of Decay, you're a Reaper form, and then you're using Flay to dash around for speed, basically. And then from time to time you transplant when you see a pack, you know, to get like all the debuffs on. And you know, it is fun, but it was definitely a bit of a struggle to level, I'm gonna lie. And now it's kind of ramping, honestly, since we got level 85 or so, and we got Siphon of Anguish and stuff. The build's been feeling much better. But yeah, if you compare it to some of the meta builds of the patch, you know, like, and the old patch, like Judgment, the minion shit, you know, Bear, Warpath, Racing Strike, these things, Acid Flask, Falconeer, right? It is definitely a weaker build, okay? But we'll see where we can take it. I hope you guys follow up on... you follow this build journey. And you enjoy it, and you learn something, and yeah, we're gonna finish up this map here, maybe. So the plans for like the character going forward, basically, is like I said, is we want to get the dagger, the primordial dagger, ideally with attack speed slam, which I've been looking for. Then we're gonna try to get the army of foreskin boots, which I've been using all my fucking runes of ascendance for.
Yes.
Might as well see if chat gives me, you know, if you guys give me luck. Army of foreskin in 3, 2, 1. Boom. Unlucky.
Take care.
So that will be hopefully in the next video we're gonna have the boots, we're gonna have the primordial dagger, and we're gonna have the belt for Doom. And from that on, like, the build should start ramping quite well. But you know, again, it is a bit of a fantasy build at the moment. But it should be able to run pretty well. Again, Volca has been testing it pretty extensively, and the build should do good. So yeah, pretty good. You know, you get the healing from stuff, you get the ward. It's a bit of a crazy, wonky playstyle. And yeah, it's been quite hard for me to adapt, because, you know, not having that seal, it's just a very big shift for what this class used to be. But you know, so far it's fun. I'm liking it. And yeah, we'll see how it goes on like another few hours. Yeah.